Hey gang, we're on Percy Lake. We're just outside of Nashville, Tennessee. We're gonna get out and chase some big bass around today with my buddy Ashley. Stay tuned. Let's Fish TV is on the air.
That is a fish.
Oh man, look at this. It's time for the only program that brings you real-time fishing reports from the Southwest region every week.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, look at that. Woo! This is Let's Fish.
Hey guys, welcome this week. We are at Percy Reservoir. It is about 10 miles east of downtown Nashville. Makes it a pretty crowded lake in the summertime, but it is one of the better fishing lakes in this part of the world. It's about 14,000 acres, and it was impounded in 1967 and has just been a source of enjoyment for the Metro Nashville area. I'm gonna be with my buddy today, Ashley Hayes. Ashley and I, we go way back, really good fisherman. He's a local guy here, but he catches them everywhere he goes. But speaking of catching them, we're gonna get you all the information you need that's relevant to your local region from your inside reporter. And today, we're gonna be fishing out of this low Stinger 198. It's rigged out with all the good stuff, the Lowrance, the motor guide, the power poles. So we're gonna get this low put in the water and we're gonna get ready to go. While we do, I'm gonna send you back to the studio so you can get your weekend planning.
Hello everyone, thanks so much for stopping by. The Saloon Tables are predicting fair game fish activity both days this weekend. Look for those prime daytime hours to begin in the afternoon around 4:08 on Saturday and 4:39 on Sunday, with early morning action kicking off at 3:43 on Saturday and 4:14 on Sunday. Depending on your area, expect the sun to rise around 6:46 and set around 8:18. This weekend will display a moon that is 83% visible. We're coming right back with fishing reports from all throughout the area, plus I will return with Bassmaster Elite Angler Micah Frazier on this week's Ask the Pro feature. Stick with us.
Guys, I hadn't been on Percy in years. I used to live right over there. Fell in love with this lake when I lived down here, when I used to fish it all the time. But I haven't been here in a long time, and wanted to come down here and shoot a show because it is an incredible fishery. And when I got ready to head down here, I was calling one guy and one guy only. This is Ashley. Ashley, tell us a little bit about what's going on here, kind of what you expect we're going to do today.
Well, the lake's been fluctuating up and down with all the rain we've had. It's going to be overcast today. It's supposed to get up to 84. We're going to catch them on Carolina rigs. I look forward to a great day.
I'm looking forward to it too. We're going to send you to commercial. We're going to run down here to our first spot and we'll be right back with you.
Let's Fish TV is proudly backed by Motor Guides Tour Pro, cable steer motor with GPS anchor, Waypoint Marine, the Gulf Coast's leading saltwater boating specialist, Strike King, Taiwan On, and by Low Boats. Welcome to Low Country.
You know, the key for today is transitions. Another big Percy largemouth on the Carolina rig. Hey guys, welcome back to Percy Lake, just east of Nashville, Tennessee. I'm with my good friend Ashley Hayes today, and as always, every time I'm with Ashley, we're out chasing bass and usually being pretty successful at catching them. I like it when you say get the net, even though we don't have a net. That's a good one, Ashley. That's what I'm talking about, boy.
That's one of them old Percy good.
One of them. Come here. Golly, Bill. Come on, Crispin, act like you've done it before.
That's a pretty good one right there.
That's a nice one. You know, the key for today is transitions. There's about 3 different kinds of transitions that we've identified, and that's what all these bass seem to be relating to. And this is a thing that you can do here. It's also a technique or theory that you can take to your home water. And one of the first transitions I want to talk to you about is actually rock transitions. As you'll see throughout the show today, you're going to see us fish places where pea gravel transitions to bigger gravel. And you're going to see places where gravel transitions to chunk rock, and even places where chunk rock transitions to big boulders or even bluff walls like you might see behind me here. And what we've identified are these fish are holding on these transition areas. And it seems to hold true anywhere you go across the country. If you're bass fishing, they really like an area, a spot where two different types of bottom composition come together, you know, be it clay or sand or gravel or chunk rock or big rocks. But just watch this, see how we're focusing on transitions, and then take that to where you're fishing. And here's the deal, when it's this time, when the conditions are like this on your lake, these little transition areas are revolving doors, right?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Always new waves of fish. They hit them on the way in, they hit them on the way out. And Carolina rig's a really good search bait to get out there. And obviously the quality's good.
Yeah, not too bad.
Awesome. Let's throw that one back and catch another one.
Hi everybody, and welcome to this week's Lone Star Lakes, brought to you by Dragonfire Tools. When you want the best made, the best materials, the baddest work chest you can buy, Dragonfire Tools. Now this week we've come to Hubbard Creek Lake. We're gonna fish at night. But as always, I like to get here about an hour before sunset so I can get familiar with my surroundings and know where any hazards might be. We're gonna try to catch some bass tonight. We're gonna use a few baits to do it. We're gonna start with a black buzz bait and a black and blue spinner bait. We're also gonna throw a chatterbait, a jig, a 10-inch Texas rigged blue fleck power worm, and I might even throw a black crankbait. We're gonna work along the dam and the riprap to start. Then we're gonna look for some grass beds. When we find those grass beds, we're gonna work the outside edge. And we're gonna be sure that we're using fresh grass, not the stuff that's been sprayed. Now over at Big Sam Rayburn, it's a great bass lake, but it's also a fantastic crappie lake. In the bigger creeks, the really big ones, look about halfway back. In the smaller ones, look toward the mouth. Find the timber near the channel, drop your minnows and jigs down, and be aware that some of our lakes are starting to see thermoclines set up, and you need to stay above that level. That's this week's Lone Star Lakes, brought to you by Dragonfire Tools. Be sure to check us out on Facebook, Lone Star Lakes.
Uh-oh.
Decent one too. Yeah, pretty good one.
Oh, yeah. Watch me. Watch me get on.
You did what I did. Contagious.
Yeah.
Yeah, he ain't as big as I thought he was.
Well, he's nice, though.
But he ain't bad.
Nice, nice.
Another big Percy Priest largemouth on the Carolina rig. You know, if I could give you one piece of advice, one thing that I think has just changed Carolina rigging, well, let me go with two things. Number one, the fluorocarbon leader. Yep. I think it's a must. You know, for years we all thought we needed a mono leader because it helps our bait float, but I promise you they'll find it with that fluorocarbon leader. Yeah. The most important thing that you can do when Carolina rigging is to put a tungsten weight on there. Right. You know, this Strike King Tour Grade, let me see that thing. That Strike King Tour Grade tungsten weight, if you can see it right there, it's a cylindrical, kind of a barrel-shaped weight. It's not as bad to hang as something that's got a point that'll get down in a crevice.
Goes through everything pretty good.
Goes through everything pretty good, and it's a lot of surface area. And with tungsten being denser than lead and all that surface area right there, you just feel every little thing. And I literally felt it come off of a big rock onto some smaller gravel, right. And that's when that fish bit it. And you can't do that with lead.
I know, and I'm just gonna say this, just a little tip. Works well for me. Sometimes, you know, I use an ounce, but I'll use 2 halves a lot of times to give it, because this tungsten makes a lot of noise.
Yep.
And people don't realize that.
It's like a clacker.
And it works real well. Just
draws until you bait.
Try it sometime. Try it sometime.
There you go, folks. Carolina rig tip of the day. I'm gonna turn this dude back. Go back here and get big. Come on. There we go. Smallmouth.
All right. Got a smallmouth.
The old thunder cricket. You know, we're out here on Percy Priest today. We're bass fishing, and we have dialed it into transition areas. There's a couple of types of transition areas. The first one I talked to you about would be bottom composition. That's rock, you know, the different types of rock and where they meet. But another often overlooked transition area is watercolor. On a lake like Percy Priest or maybe your home lake, oftentimes you'll have different areas of the lake will have different water clarity. Smallmouth.
All right, got a smallmouth.
The old thunder cricket. Pretty smallmouth. Not the biggest one, not a baby either. Let me tell you a little bit about what just happened here. So we went back up the lake. Percy Priest, I'm gonna put this fish back here real quick. They don't mind getting going. They got that attitude, I like it. That's why they're fun to catch, because they fight. We came back up the lake. Percy Priest is pretty much divided into two sections. I would call from about, let's say, the Hobson Pike Bridge towards the dam is what I'd call the lower end, and from there up is kind of goes up the river is the upper end. We came up here above the bridge, and it has got, there's just a ton of color up here. The water's a lot darker. Well, actually, staying true to himself, has stayed with that Carolina rig, but we pulled in on this particular little point, and he said, man, he goes, this may be a good spot to try something else. Well, I reached down and picked up the thunder cricket. Our vibrating jig's got that owner jungle hook in it. And the reason I did so is because in this off-colored water, fish will still eat because they have to, but they're going to rely on their other senses so much more. And that thing just puts off a ton of vibration. Usually up the river, the upper end of a lake will have more color than the lower end, but there's almost always an area or a transition zone where those two water types meet. And what you get is a difference in water clarity, a mud line. That's very common, and it's caused by wind blowing on a bank or perhaps boat traffic. But where that muddy water stacks up against the bank and it meets the normal color of the lake water, you can see a visible line down through there. And what happens is your bass, being predator fish, they will get in that murky water and actually use it as an ambush point into that clear water when bait fish come by, or if best case scenario when your bait comes by. So don't overlook water transition areas in your bass fishing. Use baits with action that are suited to the color of water. If it's super clear, a lot of times you want something a lot more subtle, a little tighter wiggle, maybe a more natural color. When the water's got a lot of color like this, it's oftentimes a good time to go with something that's got a lot more action just to help them find it utilizing their lateral line.
I just missed one.
So, what is it?
I just missed one.
All right, well, we're getting bit. I'm gonna get back in.
Hey friends, Captain Kevin Broussard here with your Let's Fish Outdoor Report. I tell you what, we're going to talk about Buzzy Break Reservoir right now. It's a new reservoir here in Louisiana. Look, they just opened it. Lots of great bass fishing. Big bass, lots of 4 to 8 pounds. Tell you what, early and late seemed like spinnerbait, buzzbait, topwater was the key there. They had everything from shallow water lily pad bite to some deep water bite. Tell you what, biggest things, new lake, lots of action. Tell you what, practice catch and release on those bigger fish. On the saltwater scene right now, I tell you what, we've been dealing with lots of rain showers, lots of wind all along the Gulf Coast, but fishing is fantastic. From Venice, Hopedale, Delacroix, I tell you what, that end of the state, lots of trout, lots of redfish. Over here on this end, Calcasieu Lake area, even Sabine, lots of trout, lots of red. Biggest thing, watch the weather, be safe. Live shrimp seems to be the key right now, live mullet, we're in that summertime heat pattern. But main thing, get out on the water and have a great time. For Old Cajun Phil, Captain Kevin Broussard saying, let's fish. We're gonna see you next week.
Hi everyone, Captain Greg Varm here bringing you this week's Texas Coastal Report. Hey, we're going to talk about the upper coast today. The lower coast, it's still feeling the effects of Hurricane Hannah that moved through, but fishing will get back to normal down there in the blink of an eye. Now here in Freeport, we're at the beginning of amberjack season, and we're catching some giants. Live bait is a key for amberjack success. Live hardtails, big croaker, pinfish, or white trout work great. Also, lots of kingfisher hitting the deck here at Bay's Landing Fishing Lodge in Freeport, Texas. Also, we are seeing blackfin tuna showing up around the shrimp boats in 180 to 200 foot of water. Hey, now let's move up the coast a bit to Galveston. It is that magical time of year for redfish. As we move further into August, more redfish will be showing up in pre-spawn mode, and the September bull run will be in full swing. You want to get in here in Freeport or Galveston, catch some giant fish? Give me a call, and remember we have lodging here at Bay's Landing. I'm Captain Greg Barham, and I'll see you next week.
Let's Fish TV is proudly backed by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Have fun out there. Bobby Garland Crappie Baits and the original Baby Shad and new slab Huntar Minnow. Glacier Glove. Stay outdoors longer with our gloves, hats, and shades. Balls Out. Made in the USA. Heavy duty mounts for your fish finders. And by Camus Boats. Tomorrow's tournament boat today.
Oh, that one's got some shoulders to him too. Look, 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 look. That's a big one. Prime example of what you can catch at Percy Priest.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you want to see more fishing tips, how-to videos, big fish catches, and full episodes of our Let's Fish TV show, be sure to subscribe right here to our YouTube channel. You can also like our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter. Good fishing out there.
Hey, we're glad that you're with us today here on Percy Priest. You know, staying with the theme of transitions and that being our target today, I want to tell you about the third kind of transition that we've really had a lot of success with today, and that is a structural transition, oftentimes known as a ledge, a drop off. That's where shallow water transitions to deep water, or deep water transitions to shallow water. But essentially what it creates, as in every other type of transition, be it rock transitions or watercolor transitions, it oftentimes what you're creating is an edge, and bass love edges. They tend to hang out when they're not feeding out off the deeper side of an edge, and when they are feeding, they move up to the top of the edge. That's when they seem to be more active. And your bait fish, if you watch your electronics throughout the day, these Lowrance electronics, you'll see them do the very same thing. When they get active, they get up on top of that ledge. So don't overlook structural transitions where the bottom changes depth. We caught a couple of big largemouth like that on spots just like that today. There's one right there. Oh, that one's got some shoulders to him too. Look, 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 look. That's a big one.
Golly.
How about that? Good job, guide. Look. You got a jump in you? Yeah! I like it when they go, all right, I get one chance to be on TV in my lifetime. Come on, big girl, come on.
Oh, yeah. Nice one, Crispin.
Here, I'll unhook him quick. That right there is another prime example of what you can catch at Percy Priest. Look at that fish right there. Big, fat, healthy, I mean, pretty as one can get. I tell you what, here's the thing. I caught that one on, if you've seen me on this show, you've seen me catch them on a Denny Brower structure jig, and that's what that was. We pulled up here, we're fishing outside stuff at the mouths of these creeks, and here's what I want to tell you. Not every fish in the lake is doing the same thing at the same time. We have seen a ton of people today talk to other boats as we've been fishing around that are catching them on, red-eye shads, square bills, shallow stuff, thunder crickets, that kind of thing. But they're all catching a bunch of little fish. That's all what everybody told us. Getting a lot of bites, catching a bunch of little ones.
Hey, we've been blessed with some much needed and highly welcomed rain here in many places across the state of Oklahoma in recent days, and it's got things really fired up and ready to go. First of all, it's freshened up a lot of our waters, and it also seems to make the fishing just better when that happens this time of year. Now, a couple of things. If you just want to catch fish, here's what I would do. I would put on a small inline spinner like a rooster tail and go right down the banks. You're going to catch a lot of green sunfish, and you got a chance for catching bass, and white bass do that same thing. And the other good option is to go with a buzz bait right now. week, we've had these rains that have put a little color back in some of our water. It's brought a lot of fish shallow. I would go with a War Eagle buzzbait, gold blade, white and chartreuse skirt, the 1/2 ounce size, and don't be afraid to throw it all day long. You can catch some really nice bass doing that, and again, the middle part of the day can be really good this time of year. Hey, fishing can be good in Oklahoma with these rains we've had. Enjoy it, but you can't catch them if you don't go.
Watch our latest episode or catch up on past episodes on our website at letsfishtv.com. Be sure to hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter for new fishing videos every day. And download the free Waypoint TV app to get all the latest episodes every week on your phone, tablet, computer, or smart TV. Let's Fish TV is proudly backed by Mercury, Go Boldly, Lowrance, America's #1 fish finder, Lou's, Feel the Difference, and by Gulf Shores and Orange Beach, Alabama. Get our free fishing guide at orangebeach.com.
Welcome back, everyone. Let's get right to your Ask the Pro question for this week. Curtis wants to know, what is the single best technological improvement in fishing in your lifetime? For an answer, we asked Bassmaster Elite Angler Micah Frazier.
Probably just the advances in our graphs. You know, Lowrance and all the manufacturers now have such great technology. We can see stuff to the side and in front of the boat and mark a waypoint on it and go right back to it. Just so important for what we do. Use it every day. The mapping that goes into these things, the time they've spent on the water, you know, creating these 1-foot contours where we can see exactly what's on the bottom. Lowrance has got the new C-map mapping. It's been just crucial for what we do.
Thank you, Micah, for sharing your insight. If you want some help from one of the pros, simply go to letsfishtv.com and follow the Ask the Pro link to submit a question. Now it's time to find out who wins this week's Big Catch of the Week.
Hey guys, it's time for this week's winners in the Big Catch of the Week contest. This week's winner is Stephen Harding of Kyle, Texas, with his 13-pound redfish he caught at Browning Lake in Texas. To enter the contest, go to letsfishtv.com and click on the Big Catch box on the homepage and follow the instructions. You can have your very own big fish shown here on our show.
Here's today's Right Stuff, presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Hey guys, I want to take a minute and tell you about the gear you need to do what you saw Ashley and I do out here on Percy Priest today. I want to touch real quickly on this Carolina rig setup, as we did most of our damage with it. My main line was the Strike King Tour Grade braid. I like braided line for my main line on a Carolina rig, just for the sensitivity, no stretch. I can get a good hook set on a long cast. And then I used a Tour Grade fluoro leader. There again, it's got pretty much invisible qualities, very low stretch, just a great combination. But the thing that I think is the most important when you're Carolina rigging, outside of perhaps your rod setup, is this Strike King Tour Grade tungsten weight. For years, we all Carolina rigged with a lead egg sinker, and it was kind of the gold standard. When tungsten came around, it changed the game. I can drag that Carolina rig around, I can feel where the rock changes, and so many times those little subtleties are the key to really honing in on where the fish are and maximizing your bites. Another thing is I want to touch on real quick is this low Stinger 198. So many things about it make it where it is a great fishing platform. It has 83 feet of deck space, square feet, 83. It is gigantic. When you're slinging those Carolina rigs, Ashley uses a leader about as long as I am, and that deck space comes in really handy when you got two guys slinging a Carolina rig around. So anyway, that is the gear you need to get out there and get after them on Percy Priest. Hey guys, thanks for hanging out with Ashley and I today out here on Percy Priest Lake. We had a ball. We had a good time. We always have a good time together, and we hope you did too. Hey, take what we learned today. Go to your home lake, come here, but key on those transition zones and catch you a big old sack full of bass. Barry will be back with you next week. Until then, I'm Crispin Pally. God bless you.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you want to see more fishing tips, how-to videos, big fish catches and full episodes of our Let's Fish TV show, be sure to subscribe right here to our YouTube channel. You can also like our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter. Good fishing out there.